You know that feeling you had as a kid when you see something really cool that you really want, and then you see the price tag for it, and your stomach sinks because you know that your parents are never going to be willing to buy that for you because it's just too much money. You know that sinking feeling? Yeah, that's what I had after seeing the price of the Switch 2 console and the games, and I'm a full-grown adult. Yesterday, like anybody else, I watched the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, and I was hooting and hollering, I was pumping my fist, saying, heck yeah, let's go. I was leaping out of my seat. The games look amazing. The console itself is cool. There's lots of cool new features. It finally looks capable. It can run lots of different third-party games, and I was riding that hype train full steam ahead. All throughout work today, I kept having to tell myself, you gotta focus on work, get through the day. Man, all these games were buzzing around in my head. I was like, oh, this is so cool. It's just so cool. There's so many cool things. And then reality kind of hit. The reality is that the Switch 2 is too expensive. And when I say too expensive, I mostly point towards the games. The console itself, you could argue that it is a lot more capable. It seems like a slightly more, premium device. The Joy-Cons have been upgraded. The screen itself is upgraded. The power and performance you can get seems way, far and away better than, it seems on par with, a Steam Deck or a lot of PC handhelds. So $450 for the console itself, that, I don't know. It doesn't seem totally outrageous to me. But the games have jumped in price. That's kind of the point of issue for everybody, as I've been seeing. Over on Insider Gaming, they say it has been announced that price for games on the Nintendo Switch 2 will set players back up to $80 for digital and $90 for physical, at least in some cases. And what they point to is on one of Nintendo's store pages, it lists Mario Kart. The price in euros is 80 for digital and then 90 for physical. And this can be confirmed if you go to the page. Yeah, that's what it says for Mario Kart. For Donkey Kong, you've got 70 for digital, 80 for physical. Everything has kind of jumped by $10 to $20 across the board, which is a lot. The console, if the console's going to be expensive, at least it's a one-time purchase. But, you're not going to have just one game. You're going to want to get, all the new Mario, the new Zelda, Donkey Kong, everything, and it starts to add up pretty quickly. But when you have, and I went over to the Best Buy website just to see, what's available, and they do have prices listed, but I mean these just seem temporary, so it's not yet confirmed whether that's going to be the final price or it's up in the air whether that's the case. I think they list digital on their storefronts as well as physical, so take that for what it is. I guess we just don't quite know exactly how much these games are really going to cost. I don't know if there's been any hard confirmation other than the prices in Europe, but if you go over to Nintendo's news site, they list Donkey Kong Bonanza as 70, Mario Kart World as 80. Now, $70 on its own is annoying, but at least it's consistent with the direction that the rest of the industry is going. You may not like it, but that's just the new price point. We're going from 60 to 70. But Mario Kart World for $80 is setting a horrible precedent that, that's another price that's possible. On the Switch, we had Tears of the Kingdom that was $70, and Tears of the Kingdom, it was a pretty special game, and it's a massive game. So I think people were willing to swallow that pill. But the fact that they went from $70 for Tears of the Kingdom a couple of years ago to $80 for Mario Kart World is absolutely just pushing it as far as they can go. And it's a super greedy, just money-grabbing move. And it's really irritating. And it just doesn't feel good, man. Nintendo's at the peak. They're at the highest they've ever been. They've made the most money they've ever made. They're the most popular, the most relevant they've ever been. And they decide to just keep pushing those numbers. I mean, that hurts. That's a knife through the kidney. And there's also the possibility that the physical games aren't even gonna come with the game on the cartridge itself. You're gonna have to use the cartridge as a key in your console. You plug it in and then you can download the game from the eShop. If that's true, then that's ridiculous. cross my fingers that that's not the case, but there's some signs that that may be the case, and that cartridge not have the game on it, but it's going to be $10 more than the digital version. So you'll pay $90 for Mario Kart World and $80 for Donkey Kong Bonanza instead of, you know, $80 and then $70. That's another price jump. You're paying for a box of plastic with a cartridge in it with no game. Awesome. Also, side note, apparently during their Nintendo Treehouse live stream today, the chat was spamming drop the price throughout the entire duration of the stream. And it's a 4 or 5 hour stream. And the chat just kept spamming and memeing drop the price. If they're not aware of that by now, then I don't know what to say. I couldn't find the live stream anymore on their Nintendo of America website. I can only find the cut together clips, but yeah, take that for what you will. Am I planning on getting the Switch 2 at launch? Probably not. Do I still want it? Absolutely I do. Do I still want to play the games? Absolutely. The console, the games look amazing. The price, unfortunately, does not. I'm holding out hope that maybe it's a 3DS situation. They charged $250 for the 3DS at launch. A few months later, they gave it an $80 price cut down to $170. Nintendo, again, has seen money that they've never seen before, and they still go forward with this. I'll be honest, I'm not a business person. I just know what I spend my money on. And if the prices stay like this, I'm not going to be spending much money on the Switch 2. So yeah, I wish it was a different situation. Maybe things will change. They do say that the actual price may vary, but come on. Like, does that really ever mean anything? Let me know if I missed anything or prove me wrong. I would be very welcome to that. But yeah, things are looking, it's looking... We went from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows in a matter of just moments, mere moments. But yeah, let me know what you think. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Have a good one. See ya.